What's going on, everyone? This is Fighting Words with Kevin Shells. I'm Shells.
Kev, 8 Count Sports, man. 8 Count Sports. What's up?
What's going on, Brody?
Everything good. It's been a minute, but we back.
Back. And we back to get up 2 events two events from the boxing world and 2 events from the world of MMA via UFC.
We got Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga. We got the rivalry, Mexico against Puerto Rico, renewed on Mexican Independence Day, September 14th. Happy Independence Day to Mexico. This is gonna be awesome. Well, let's get into it. Let's get into it. We talk about this fight. This fight was heavily ridiculed, criticized, and what have you. Obviously, a lot of us feel like Canelo's been cherry picking, including me. But look, we got a fight night. We got a young, hungry contender ready to go. And I'm with it, man. What's your thoughts on the fight?
Aside from the duck in the room. Yeah, like you said, we got a fight night. Canelo is out. So I always say, cherry picking or not, we're gonna come out the same fight.
Right.
And we do have a hungry fighter in Edgar Berlanga. And every fighter got a puncher's chance. Now, do I think he has a puncher's chance? I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't.
All right.
I don't. I think it's gonna be the same old script. We got Canelo coming out. He's gonna look victorious for Mexican Independence Day. It's gonna be a crazy upset if Edgar comes out the victor. But I'm giving it to Canelo. What about you, Kev?
I'm giving it to Canelo as well. I will say this, and maybe this is just pre-fight getting excited, like, oh, it's a fight coming, everything is out the window. Maybe it's the boxing fan in me. I'll say this: Canelo has been beaten before, twice. One by Mayweather, which we can kind of dismiss and say, Mayweather was, way more advanced, or whatever we want to say. He did lose to Bivol. He lost to Bivol. He didn't seem interested too much in fighting Benavidez. Maybe, just maybe, Berlanga is the bigger fighter. Maybe he somehow brings something that Canelo hasn't seen, or Canelo hasn't been expecting, or maybe they're training in a certain way. Maybe there's something this kid can bring. He's undefeated. One thing I always say, it's very difficult. When you're facing an undefeated fighter, you have to show them how to lose. They're coming in there with confidence, and they haven't lost, regardless of how they looked in sparring. I see all of these clips they coming out with him getting dropped. Obviously, he got dropped in one of his past fights. He got the win. So you have Canelo Alvarez against a young, hungry, undefeated fighter. I'm taking Alvarez, but I'm interested to see if Edgar Berlanga can prove his worth. Can he go in there? He's granted with an opportunity. Can he cash out? That's what we here for.
We want to see. What we got next, Kev? Who's next?
We might as well keep it here on the same card, the undercard. We got Danny Garcia moving up to middleweight to fight Islande Laro. Long time crafty, the Cuban southpaw crafty. This dude brings everything to the table in his 40s, but still obtained the WBA middleweight championship of the world. This is not an easy out. I've seen Danny Garcia outbox before a zillion times. He packs a punch. He may be even a bigger name in the fight, but he's moving up into another weight class. Matter of fact, he's moved up 2 weight classes in his last 2 fights. So, and he's challenging for a title. So this is not a easy task at all. I'm interested to see if Garcia can do it. Maybe his star is kind of past. He's well into his 30s now. But this is his chance to accomplish something big time. I'm interested in this fight. How about you?
I'm always interested to see a fighter move up in the weight class, move up in weight divisions, because to me it gives the fans an opportunity to see where his skill set really is. Because higher up, we all know this. The higher up the weight class you go, the less you can rely on your power, and the more you got rely on your technical know-how, your technical IQ, your boxing IQ. So I'm interested to see where Garcia is in his technical. I mean, it's Garcia, of course, but I'm interested to see how he's gonna be able to swim in these deep of waters. Again, like you said, even though he is the A side of this, Laro is the champ. So this is hard. I'm gonna say this. I feel it's gonna go to decision. I'm gonna say that first.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to Garcia.
Give it to Garcia.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Garcia. And I kind of fought myself just now. I was kind of lose Laro, but I'm gonna give it to Garcia.
Oh, cool. I don't think I made a prediction. I give it to Laro. I got Laro in the decision.
Got Laro?
Yeah, I got Laro.
Laro by decision. Okay, at least we both said decision. And you know, part of me feels like if it goes that long, then of course it's gonna go to Laro. But something telling me Garcia might.
He's in his 40s though, so maybe it's just I feel like he's the superior boxer, and I think it's gonna show. I've seen Garcia outboxed. Maybe the age thing might catch up with Laro, but I've seen Garcia outboxed, and Laro has fought in the bigger weight classes successfully. Like this is closer to his actual weight. 154 was his actual weight. He's moving up one, has the title. Garcia going. He was great at 140. Everything above that has been hit and miss, to be honest with you. So I don't know how he's gonna get it done at 160, but listen, I'm interested.
Now we get into UFC.
On the spear.
That same night, taking place in the Spear, UFC 306.
And why is this happening at the Spear? Pre-fight, you were saying, pre-show, you were saying something. What happened?
Well, you know, we've always commended boxing for being the sport of kings, and I felt this weekend really showed the prestige that boxing have in the combat realm, in the combat sports realm. Basically, Dana White stated during one of his previous press conferences, whereby MGM usually designates UFC to have bouts in their facility, but because this is, like you said, Canelo's weekend, this is Mexican Independence Day coming up, they gave it to those guys, and because of that, they allow UFC to have their bout in the Sphere. So Dana White, from the beginning, they wasn't really up to having the fight in the Sphere, but this was just his next best option.
Gotcha.
So there we have it. UFC 306 happening in the Sphere.
The Sphere in the backyard. All right.
he did say that it's going to be the greatest sports event ever. So I'm interested. He's hyping this event the same way he hyped up the UFC 300 card, and this going to be the best ever, the biggest thing ever. Like, he's not hyping up the card, but he's hyping up the event. Like, it's going to be, from what he's going to be some crazy visual, spectacular experience that we're going to never forget. So I'm interested to see. All right. I'm interested to see like what's going to go down this weekend at the Sphere.
He got you. He pulling you away from the Canelo fight. He got you. That's good promoting.
That's a good point. You know, he is a promoter. So he's doing his job. But headlining this bout, we have, you know, the bantamweight champ,
Sugar Sean O'Malley.
Versus this is overdue. His appearance for the title was overdue. This is we're talking about Merab. And the thing with Merab, remember when our guy Aljamain was going through his run and was always saying, when is Merab's turn coming? And there was even talk about Aljamain holding back Merab, or Merab being unwilling and shooting a foot in his own career by not taking on Aljamain for the title shot. But now this is his time. It's finally here, and we got this. What interests me about this is we got a striker, a high-level striker, one of the best strikers in the UFC, versus a wrestler who he has one of the most dangerous weaponized cardio engines in the UFC. This man Merab, he's gonna keep going at you. He doesn't stop. So I'm very interested to see what's gonna happen with these two different styles meet up each other. I'm gonna give it to you, Kev, first. Who do you think is
first?
You see?
I gotta go with Sugar Sean, man. I gotta go with Sugar Sean. his ability to keep distance. Merab is actually even smaller than Aljamain Sterling. That matters in regards to distance. So they're similar. Like Aljamain and Merab are a bit similar. I think I think for me Merab is, I think his center of gravity, he's a little more dominant per se than Aljamain, where but I just can't see him closing that distance on O'Malley, man. Some guys are so great at measuring, and I don't know how Merab is going to get inside without tasting some kind of firepower. And in that, even if Merab does get him down, I think, you know how we always say to beat a champ, to beat a champ, you got to beat the champ. Can Merab make this messy to the point where, where he has O'Malley scrambling and stuff like that? Can he murk it up to where this thing goes to a decision? Can that happen? I don't see Merab stopping O'Malley, but he would have to dominate, and I don't see that happening in this fight. I don't see that happening. So I'm going with O'Malley. I go with O'Malley by decision.
I agree with you, Kev. That's a nightmare for Merab, is that distance, like you said, and the kind of firepower he's going to catch for trying to distance. You saw what O'Malley did to Chito Vera.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is Merab's chin up to that level of a Chito Vera? And on top of that, was very underestimated in O'Malley's tool set is his takedown defense.
Yes.
So even if you do close that defense, if you don't bring him down, now what? You gotta start all over. And try to close this again with a high level striker. I don't see Merab getting knocked out. I also see it going to decision, but I do see O'Malley keeping his own belt.
Well, by decision.
With his belt, yes sir. By decision.
Copy. And to the matchup that I ain't gonna lie to you, this might be for me. I'm more anxious about this fight than any of the other three we just mentioned.
To your point, you spoke about bringing up things from the pre-show. To your point, this should have been the main event.
Listen, maybe they would have been the MGM if it was. Come on, man, you got to showcase this Mexican Independence Day. Why Alexa Grasso is a champion, ain't she? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? That's the champion. But hey, I digress. Alexa Grasso, the champion of the world, going up against Valentina Shevchenko, former pound for pound, part 3, yes, the trilogy, your favorite, the trilogy, former pound for pound queen pin, Valentina Shevchenko. Boy, I'm gonna let you go first. You gonna go first on this? What's your thoughts on this one?
This is gonna tell me where is the GOAT in Valentina is in her level of fighting skill set, because this was the one that took her belt away.
Yeah, sunburn.
And then when she tried to get it back, it ended up as a draw. So that's 2 times that defend her keep the belt against this young lady and failed. So this 3rd time is gonna let us know. The 2nd time, to me, this tells me it wasn't a fluke in the first place. But this 3rd time is gonna let me know, did Valentina learn anything, or has she reached the peak? Kevin, I remember you said something about how a lot of these times when these fighters have these long runs, when they hurt us hit a certain level, that's it. Like there's no more evolving for them to do. Like that's when they start tapering off. So is Valentina in this point of her career? This to me, this fight's gonna answer that. I'm gonna go with the side of momentum. And momentum is telling me that Grasso is gonna leave the belt. Valentina's time has passed. I'm gonna go as far as say that this is gonna be a victory for Grasso within 3 rounds via submission.
We thinking the same. I think you be listening to me too much. I'm rubbing off on you, man. I'm rubbing off on you. That's a great analysis. Yeah, I'm going in the same direction. How many times I've said, great fighters. You can't find anybody on the roster to fight to beat Israel Adesanya. You couldn't find a person to beat Chuck Liddell. You couldn't beat Kamaru Usman. You can't fight anybody, and then one night you find somebody. And then the next thing you know, then in their next fight, you find somebody else that could beat them. And then you find somebody else that can beat them. And then it's over. Tony Ferguson, you name it. Once these great fighters, they lose that one time, it's like the walls came tumbling down. And I see this, you mentioned the fights with Grasso. I'll take it a step further. The fight that me and you always go back and forth, Alia Santos. Before this fight, we couldn't find anybody to remotely even touch Valentina Shevchenko. She fought Santos and she almost got choked out several times. Regardless of who you think won, several times. Comes into her next fight and gets choked out by Grasso. When they fight again, I listened to Shevchenko say, "Oh, you can't stand with me. You can't do this. You can't do." I seen Shevchenko get dropped for the first time in that last fight, and went to a draw in the 5th round. She was raining punches on Valentina, raining punches. They almost stopped the fight. As good as Valentina fought well, but there was parts in this fight where we saw Valentina vulnerable like we hadn't seen her before. I agree with you with the stoppage. I think the referee's gonna stop it because of punches. I think she's gonna get it down like she did the last fight. She got her back, started raining punches. I don't know how Valentina stopped the rain that night, but I got Grasso, bro.